I believe in partnerships wherever we go. I think we should act like partners and we should build communities. And the biggest problems in the world cannot be solved outside of partnership and collaborations.
So business partnership actually no different than personal partnership, as in marriage. It's similar.
By sharing the burden and also complementing each other, we can achieve way more than what we could have done alone. So the model where non-profit to do good and let the money do what it's best, which is the regular venture, just make the money, doesn't work in the face of modern world where we are facing systemic issues. And the reason that model doesn't work, at the end of the day, the non-profit, you will depend on the donors as well. And the donors will depend on some kind of profit engine. It's about bringing back the function of business to the original plan. That business is supposed to be a force for good.
The word plastic can describe any material made of polymers, which are just large molecules consisting of the same repeating subunit. This includes all human-made plastics, as well as many of the materials found in living things. But in general, when people refer to plastics, they're referring to synthetic materials. Plastics began to replace other materials like wood, glass, and fabric in furniture, clothing, shoes, televisions, and radios. Versatile plastics opened up possibilities for packaging, mainly designed to keep food and other products fresh for longer. Suddenly, there were plastic garbage bags, stretchy plastic wrap, squeezable plastic bottles, takeaway cartons, and plastic containers for fruit, vegetables, and meat. Within just a few decades, this multifaceted material ushered in what became known as the plastics century. While the plastics century brought convenience and cost-effectiveness, it also created staggering environmental problems.
Plastic waste is piling up in the world's landfills, sewer systems, and in the ocean.
You've probably heard about a giant trash island in the ocean. Maybe you've even heard how plastic is being found inside the fish we eat.
The amount of solid plastic waste produced since the 1950s that has not been burned or recycled is around 4.9 billion tons. Over half of all plastic is used just once and then thrown away, taking hundreds of years to decompose.
100% of regular plastic is basically made from fossil fuel. But the oil production, extraction, which is very expensive, 100% used for energy. And then the residue, then they use it to produce the plastic. So the feedstock for regular plastic is actually a waste from energy production. That is why plastic is very, very cheap.
And actually, plastic is one of the greatest inventions of all time. Plastic makes our life easier.
When you wake up every day, what do you do? First thing you grab is plastic. Toothbrush, right? It's plastic. Our glass, our clothing, mostly are polyester now. All industry use plastic.
It's persistency that brings so much goodness and functionality, prolong the food life and everything, becomes double-edged sword when it becomes a waste. Because it's become microplastics, seeps into our water source, our food sources, everything.
They do a research on all the mineral water all over the world, and they discover that there's microplastic inside our drinking water. And then in the fish, fish meat, in the chicken meat, they discover there's microplastic.
Already there's a research showing that you and I eating 1 credit card's worth of plastic every week, 15 grams, 10 to 15 grams. So it's not a matter of if this will kill us, it's a matter of when. Is it 3 credit cards? Is it 5 credit cards? Before our body are inundated and overwhelmed by these foreign entities coming into our bodies, right? So it's a problem we cannot afford not to solve.
So in the life of UN, they declare war on 2 things. 1988, they declare war on climate change, right? And 2017, plastic waste.
Greenhope solution is actually, already about reduce, reuse, recycle. We are promoting the 4th R, which is return to earth. This return to earth meaning to make all the plastic can be decomposed.
Our war is against plastic waste by making sure that after it becomes waste, it can safely biodegrade.
So through the technology, we start the transition of the oil-based or oil and gas-based plastic to bio-based materials. So it's renewable and 30% less carbon using locally sourced materials such as tapioca starch. The end of life of those material will be compostable, home or industrial compostable, as well as biodegradable in landfill, as well as if it accidentally leaks, it still behaves so much better than conventional plastic that turns into microplastic for the longest time.
Now, the difference between food and the plastic is the hydrocarbon chain. Okay? So all the food stuff, the hydrocarbon chain is basically less than 100,000 unit. Okay, so if you throw away, the microbe can eat it. Now, the plastic though is hydrocarbon, but the hydrocarbon chain of plastic is 7 million and beyond. And that's why regular plastic take 500 years or 1,000 years to biodegrade.
All of our technology promoting that all the plastic material can be eaten by microbe. So this is not going to wait for 100, 200, or even 1,000 years to decompose. We can shorten all the process from hundreds or 1,000 years to only 2 to 5 years. So that is our technology.
Sugi and I are longtime friends at church, so we've known each other for a while. And I know that he's a scientist. He's been creating these great technologies. Then he started painting the bigger picture to me, that how the plastic waste pollution is really one of the big, massive environmental challenges. And then he said that God gave him inspiration to create this technology. It's not his, it belongs to God.
We have a similar background. He's a lot younger than me, but both of us educated in the US, work in the US, and we don't have to come back. We can just stay in the US, but we come back because of the purpose. That's make us similar, So we are quite idealistic, we're driven by purpose. I'm more the scientist, I'm more the engineer. We need a business consultant, business process, because this is quite a complex and it's a new technology.
Me wearing my consultant hats immediately already have like 3 steps to do. So we connected very well with each other. We drawn up a plan. We need to capitalize it, and we need to have a strong values that underpin it, and we can scale it up. And we pray to God that this to be used for God, for that the technology can be adopted and bring the positive impact that it aims to do. So that's how we connected, and we complement each other very well.
I think, but the one that bound us together is the purpose. But then the rest is, we have a lot of very deep discussion, iron sharpening iron.
It's not without its challenges as partners, but that's where we grow. That's where we learn to talk it out. That's where we learn to really listen and develop all these other important skills that is necessary if we want to make a big impact.
So Arga Karya was first introduced to Greenhope in a project that we were involved together. We would buy Greenhope's material. Through that materials, we would produce biodegradable or oxo-biodegradable plastic films in Arga Karya. It only took a very short while for me not to only know Greenhope, but to know the people behind Greenhope, the story, the narratives, and the worldview that the founders of Greenhope have been trying to do. And that is where I'm also much more fortunate enough to meet people like Tommy, and the way that he has been also leading Greenhope, and the way that he's also been applying theology at work through this vocation.
So it's a special entrepreneur that doesn't need to pursue just their own idea of how they can impact the world in the way that God's called them, but it's a special entrepreneur that can come alongside someone else who's been called in that direction and partner with them in fulfilling their idea. And Tommy came alongside Sugianto to help him actually complete what God had called Sugianto to 10 or 15 years before. So the work that Tommy's doing, there's a humility in Tommy Tjiptadjaja that's reflected in his willingness to come alongside an older entrepreneur who needed help, who needed a Tommy in his life to help him move the idea forward. So it's not about Tommy. It's about Tommy fulfilling his mission by actually partnering with someone and helping that individual advance the work that God had called them to do.
At that time when I graduated, I learned about the cultural mandate, about the creation, about the genesis, starting with a garden, ending with a city, and how we evolve creating culture, how we have to have a redemptive because of the sin, how the original mandate is actually not to introduce people to Christ. Everybody know God back then. The original mandate is to work and become a really God's representative on the planet, right? His steward, his ambassador to the creation. And that's such an exciting mandate. When I discovered that, I feel like I was so thrilled. That means God respect, appreciate, and want to use my entire being, not just spiritual, but also emotion and physical and all my skills. To be very honest, I was not a greenie or whatever. I don't think I'm a greenie also today. I'm just a person who really wants to live the way God wants us to live in the middle of His creation. So it's just a natural outcome.
Even since coming back to Indonesia, it's a faith journey. And meeting Tommy, forming Greenhope 6 years ago, is take us even deeper. Life with a purpose, right? Especially the purpose that is coming from the Maker, coming from God. You know, and the Bible also tell us that we are all given a purpose even before the foundation of the world, right? The true happiness and joy is if you done that, if you discover your purpose. And to know that, to know the purpose is to know Him.
I'm very excited with Greenhope because it becomes a place where I manifest my faith, my skill, my faith that God creates in the Genesis, right? He creates the planet, the world, He gives it to us. We need to care and work at it. So we need to do that, and Greenhope is a manifestation of that mission. And through Greenhope, we're trying to bring back the original purpose of business, which is to create goods and service that bring goodness to the society. I get so many questions about why I'm doing this, and I can share my faith in the process as well. I think that Greenhope can truly be a vessel for blessings for all, through first and foremost from our output, our innovation, so all the customers and the planet benefits, and the farmers benefit. The employees will be rewarded too, greatly, and we will be growing and growing in our impact.